His eyes.
Her laughter.
Her smile. I miss her friendship. Everything.
I miss how much he enjoyed life.
Sudden cardiac arrest in youth is not rare. It's the #1 killer of student athletes during sports. It contributes to the #2 medical cause of death under 25. And it's the leading cause of death on school campuses. People think it just happens and there's nothing you can do about it. But the truth is, sudden cardiac death in youth can be prevented. We just have to be prepared. So the question is, if we can prevent our kids from dying, why aren't we?
Yeah, why aren't we?
Why aren't we?
Why aren't we? Why aren't we?
For more information about what's being done to protect young hearts in your community, visit your local sudden cardiac arrest prevention champion.
So, the last pictures was on September the 3rd, 2015. I walked in this room and I thought he just had another narcoleptic episode. He was diagnosed with narcolepsy. And I'm thinking, okay, Kai, come on, get up, let's get you back into bed. Never in a million years would I imagine that my only child was gone. Tried CPR for what I could remember. And it was just too late. You couldn't save him. So I woke up in the middle of one night and I said, what am I supposed to do now? And this is the path that I've been led down. Excuse me one second. So I said, if I would have known my son had heart disease, what could I have done? I have to make a difference. We have to be aware. And then I started researching how many people, how many youth and young adults are passing away from sudden cardiac arrest on the basketball court, at home, in bed. Thank you. And just researching, one of my son's wrestling coaches, his son passed away from something very similar in the middle of the night up at Kent State University. And I knew we had to make a difference. So the first premise of KEP for the Heart was awareness. We have to get out there. We have to make people aware that this is happening. Then the next was, how am I going to pay for this? Because even though I'm a teacher, I have a high deductible. So we need to be able to help those people get in there, get the proper treatment and the proper care with the right doctors, and help them pay for it. So if it means you have to go to Cleveland Clinic to get that proper care and proper treatment, that's what KP for the Heart wants to be there to do, is to help those families who may not be able to afford to go to Cleveland Clinic. We want to help you get up to Cleveland Clinic. We want to help you get down to Cincinnati Children's or Nationwide Children's to get the very best care you can get for cardiac disease in young adults. And then finally, advocacy, patient advocacy. Because I know when my son had a auto accident, his senior year, major auto accident, went off the road, was off the road for about 2.5 hours before anybody found him. And at that recovery period, I kept saying to his doctors, something's not right, something's wrong, something's not right, something's wrong. And they kept telling me, oh, it's because he's got broken bones. And I said, wait a second, you're not listening to me, something's wrong. If you're not the doctor to treat my son for this condition, please show me the doctor I'm supposed to go to. So with KEP, we want to be that central resource that a parent can call up and say, where do we go? Who do we go see? And can you go with me? Because I'm already distraught because my child has an illness. I need somebody else to go with me. I need somebody to be there to be that support system. I know this, A, because of what I went through with my son, but also experiencing breast cancer twice. I needed somebody to be there for me at that time as well. So KP for the Heart, the first thing we're doing is working on my son's memorial scholarship. And that was one of the things he really wanted to do was he wanted to go back to school. He didn't get that opportunity. So we are working on building his memorial scholarship. So as students are going away to college, they're going to say, hey, this is a threat. I am a Northmont person. Go Bolts. And so we're going to start with Northmont, but then eventually expand to the rest of the Dayton area. We are hosting our second annual Spring for the Heart benefit coming up here on April 6th at the American Legion. We had a great time last year. I don't know if I have enough, not I have more flyers. And this is our annual fundraiser. Last year was our first year, and our second year is this year. We've done several things. We've been involved with the Heart Walk. We've been involved, I do fairs, markets, everything I can to get my foundation up and running. And so we can have the awareness, the assistance, and the advocacy. We're always looking for volunteers. We're very fortunate that the Air Force volunteers for us at our annual event. And it's just, we're picking up steam. So I always say we're small, but we're mighty. And I just really look forward to the day where, you kind of inspired me, Mr. McAfee, where I was like, yes, that's what we're gonna do someday. And that's where we wanna be. And we really want to focus on children with cardiac disease and go out there. One of the things I have planned for the future is a food truck rally with heart screenings for children ages 5 and up, and with a little bit of a vendor fair. So those are the things that we aspire to do in the future. And is there any questions?
Yes. Is there something they can find out if they have a problem?
Yes, EKGs and echocardiograms. And the thing is, my son was a wrestler in high school. They didn't do an EKG. They didn't do an echocardiogram. Had they done the EKG and echocardiograms, we would have seen he had hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is what caused his sudden cardiac death. And we could have monitored it. It's not saying that he couldn't have wrestled, but we would have needed to modify the way he wrestled. And in 2009, Christmas Day, he had a major auto accident. Wasn't found. We were in the hospital for 2 weeks, and they didn't find anything wrong with him then. And I truly believe, tracing it back, watching videos of him now, going back, you can see 8-10 seconds in the videos, he's like, we had the warning signs, we had the symptoms, I didn't know what they were. And it's very, and more people I talk to, the more like, we wouldn't know, because they don't know what the warning signs are, they don't know what the symptoms are, because we are not in their faces, and we have to get into people's faces and hear over and over and over again before they're like, oh, and that's when they might tie into you and say, oh, maybe we do need to go to the healthcare center. So that's one of the things that KP wants to do as well, is just really be that voice to get out there, be that advocate. And we are the local advocate for the Parent Heart Watch Network here in Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus area. So, any other questions? Yes?
Yeah, I just want to applaud you for your courage, to come out and speak and take on this mission.
Thank you. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Because if somebody would have done it before me, I wouldn't be standing here before you right now. I'd probably be having coffee with my son. I mean, it's the reality of the situation. And there's 1 in 300 youth are at risk for sudden cardiac arrest. 1 in 300. So I'm going to leave you with one more short little video. And signal. That really, it does very well presenting the facts, especially when I get a little bit. that's another big thing we want to do is AEDs, get them onto the youth sports fields, and get the coaches trained, not just watch a video, trained on how to use AEDs, especially in the rec leagues, because they're not out there. I was a rec coach for 15 years, and I didn't, you know, I knew CPR, but I didn't know CPR. I gotta tell you, I got a little excited when I saw this video come up. I was like, yes. But together we will. Together we will make a difference, and together we will prevent sudden cardiac arrest and sudden cardiac death in youth.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.